and trivia. But first, let's talk Michigan State, and we're going to talk recruiting too. But also, it's just this is a college football podcast in addition to recruiting, and it's big news. I guess formally firing Mel Tucker today. I want to roundtable this first. If you were the decision maker at Michigan State, who would you hire? I'm going to start with you, Manny.
Well, I think they've got a pretty good recruiter over at Ohio State who's the offensive coordinator. What's his name again? The guy who's getting all those receivers every single year. Oh, yeah, him. I'd make a huge push for that guy.
Brian Hartline.
Yes, Brian Hartline.
Okay, I like it.
I think it's the only thing that makes sense, to be honest.
Only thing that makes sense. Wow. That is very bold. Ari?
Can I bring Nick Saban back?
Okay, let's just say Nick Saban's not going back.
You said I was in charge and I could bring anybody I wanted back.
No, you're in charge to make the decision. That doesn't mean you can bring whoever you want. You can make the hire. It's a two-way street. They need to accept the job, Ari. You can offer the job, but the person has to accept the job.
Yeah, well, I would offer the job to Nick Saban, and if he didn't come, then I would probably try Kirby Smart, and then no, okay, all right. I'm sorry. I know I'm annoying you, Mitch. There are a few coaches that that kind of jump out to me. I think what Mike Elko's done at Duke in a short period of time is super interesting. I think Dave Clawson at Wake Forest has found a way to win much bigger than his school's profile. I'm very interested in people at Michigan State who have proven at other places that they can not only build a program, but win bigger than their previous college profile. Lance Leipold is another one. And of course, Jonathan Smith at Oregon State. I think I would probably choose one of those.
Who would you choose?
I probably would go with Mike Elko. The thing I like about Mike Elko is his diverse background as a recruiter. He's kind of recruited to all sorts of different places and has done a pretty good job of raising the bar at Duke at such a short amount of time. And I like that he would know exactly what buttons to press if he were hired there.
Grace?
I like those. I like Clawson. I like Elko. I think I would maybe go Sean Lewis, though.
Ding.
Head coach experience. Colorado's been must-see TV, and I think what has impressed me the most about him is just like the way he's adapted and took this job to maybe sort of elevate his profile. I think he's like the perfect combination of a safe but still kind of flashy hire, if that makes sense.
Yeah, he would be my choice too. And I probably would have said the same thing even if he did not go to Colorado. Like I remember, you look at Syracuse's trajectory. I think it was the second season under Dano Babers when they won 10 games. And I remember looking, okay, who's their offensive coordinator? Sean Lewis, young guy. And then Kent State hired him, and he did a very good job at a very, very difficult place to win there, and then made the sort of, unconventional decision to leave a head coaching position to go to Colorado. And I think the fact that he was hired by Deion and he's thrived under Deion shows some adaptability too. I mean, that's not an easy, most coaches are just football coaches. They just want to put their head down and dial up ball plays, whatever. But when you're at Colorado with what that has become there, you're dealing with a lot of distractions, and he's, continuing to
Didn't we have like a 35-minute argument about Kenny Dillingham's age when he got hired at ASU? Does that not matter anymore to you?
Kenny Dillingham had not been a head coach. Sean was a coach for like 5 years.
The Kent State stint makes him more likely to succeed.
I wasn't anti Kenny Dillingham. I just thought he was young. And yes, being a head coach for 5 years trumps not being a head coach at all.
Yeah. I'm just surprised you would go with somebody at 37 to take over a program that's
37 is not young. It's older than you.
It is.
Yeah. I wouldn't hire you.
All right. Would Brian Hartline do it?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
I really don't know. I think he would be a good candidate, and I think it's a really good idea. I don't know if that's what he wants to do. I'm not sure he knows what he wants to do. I mean, I haven't talked to him about it in a year or so. Things change, and I'm sure he's thought about it quite a bit because he's going to be a hot coaching candidate at every place that has an opening. But, there's a difference too. And the thing that we have to discuss isn't just that Michigan State's a Power 5 job in the Big Ten East and all that stuff. It's like, you also have to go fix a place that's been through quite a bit of turmoil too. And there's a little extra layer of dysfunction within the university and all that stuff that has kind of permeated, I don't know if that's the right word, through multiple sports and multiple, it's just like, it seems like a heavier lift to me than I would want to deal with. And I think there's a reason why Luke Fickell passed on the job when they were interested in him before, right? Like, am I remembering this correctly? Didn't they want him first and then he decided to go?
And I know there's no more divisions, Ari, but it's also seemingly at a time when your three biggest rivals, I guess you would say, are peaking.
Are really good.
Ohio State, Penn State, and Michigan are all top. Are they all in the top five? I don't. They're all top 5 caliber teams. I do want to say one name that you threw out there, Ari, which is interesting to me, Dave Clawson. Most people think he's got a great gig at Wake Forest. He has turned down overtures from other schools, but I think he's at that age. I'm not sure. He's a few years older than I am. I think he's like maybe late 50s, where if he's going to make a move, Grace, what is it?
Y'all have the same birthday, don't you?
Yes, with the same birthday, not the same birth date. But I should know how old he is. Thanks for remembering that, Grace. But like, if he's going to make a move, it's going to be now. Like, that's right. He's probably got another 5 to 7 or more years in him. So like, if he gets to a point where 3 or 4 more years and he doesn't leave, then he's probably at Wake for life. And again, he's got a great situation there, but you never know what makes a guy tick. Maybe he wants that shot at a Power 5 school where he can legit has a chance to win a national title. So it seems to be a good candidate pool out there when you're talking about guys like Mike Elko, Dave Clawson.
There's one other name, Mitch. Can I bring him in?
Of course.
I think Charles Huff at Marshall's an interesting candidate too. Somebody who, has coached at Penn State and Alabama and has recruited at a very high level. I think he's won multiple recruiting of the year, recruiter of the year awards from the recruiting services, and was partly the reason why Penn State got Saquon Barkley and Miles Sanders, and J.C. Latham went to Michigan. So Alabama. I don't know why I said Michigan. That would have been a great pool for Michigan though if they would have gotten 5-star offensive tackle out of the South like that. But he's a dark horse too, and somebody that I think would be an interesting candidate as well. But whoever takes the job has to be willing and motivated by cleaning up a mess, which I think is an extra layer of thought that you have to put into this job opening. Yes.
That's why I think you have to get a former head coach. I don't know that this is like someone's first job. Yeah,
good point. So on a recruiting front, they've suffered 2 decommitments in recent days, or about a week. No surprise there. Their class is now, they're down to 11 commitments, 55, ranked 55 nationally. And I've seen some stock, tell me if this line of thinking makes sense, guys. When a coach leaves, even if you're not in the transfer window period, you've got 30 days for kids to leave. Mm-hmm. But I don't think that matters now with this, because it's like kids, it's not like they can transfer and go play at a different school. They got to finish the semester academically. And if they're going to transfer, they can just transfer in the normal fall window anyway. So I'm sure there's going to be a lot of turnover. Kids going to want to leave because they weren't recruited by this new guy, and the new guy wanting to clean anything up. But is that, as you guys understand the rule, does that make sense that the transfer window thing isn't going to really come into play here, because guys, they have to finish the semester?
Well, it's just not typical that a coach gets canned in September once the season starts. So I think I'm with you on that. I think,
and the rule's new too. So Manny, you agree that interpretation of it?
Yeah, I mean, I think as far as them losing players in the middle of the year, I don't think that's going to happen. I do obviously think they have to have somebody in place by the end of November, early December. Like they can't take their time with this, or the exodus is just going to be ridiculous. Yep. So to me, I mean, I think you probably punt on this recruiting class and just hope you can bring in transfers, whoever the new guy is, that he can bring some guys with him.
Yep.
What do you do though about the because it's week 4, right? So this is the redshirt threshold. Those guys might bolt, right?
Yeah, I guess they could.
Yeah.
So if they've played 4 games already and they want to preserve the year of eligibility, they could just leave. They could stay in school but leave the program. Yeah. I guess I don't know the logistics of that. I mean, they got to have enough guys to field the team. I don't know. There's guys who are seniors who that doesn't, I guess, still affects them. But if you're in your 5th year, whatever, there's a lot of moving parts there, and just obviously not a great situation all the way around.